because Black women are under promoted yet still penalized for the problems or the challenges, or told always we're not enough because people don't want to co-sign that promotion, then we've internalized that and said, oh, we don't actually deserve that promotion. We were not capable of making that leap. And it really, at the end of the day, it had more likely to do with either your supervisor's incompetence or unwillingness, the way that Black women are viewed from bias, and how we're treated in the systems of things.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Tine Zekas, your pivot and pay strategist. I help Black women double their income by leveraging their existing skills. I am all about getting Black women paid, whether you're an employee or a business owner. And you're listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. Let's go. Hello and welcome to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. I'm your host, Tine Zekas, and today is a guest episode, and I cannot wait to dive in, so let's get right to it. Mercedes Swan is the career love coach and creates empowering and safe places for high-performing and purpose-driven Black women. It's her passion to see more Black women find bliss, personally and professionally, and her mission is to close the pay, promotion, and inclusion gap. In her formal 9-to-5, she was a diversity manager advocating to create diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplaces. But since exiting the workplace, she now puts on her career love coaching crown as a full-time business and career coach for Black women across the U.S., leveraging her expertise as a certified HR professional, executive recruiter, and DEIB champion. Mercedes holds a master's degree in management and a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Florida. She has 8+ years of experience as an HR professional in talent acquisition, DEI, talent management, and change management. So without further ado, I cannot wait for this discussion. Please welcome Miss Mercedes Swan. Well, hello, Mercedes. Welcome.
Hello. I'm super excited for this.
Me too. Thank you so much for being here. I have been dying to talk with you. I've been listening to your podcast. I'm all about this career love journey. So I'm really into it. But before we dig into everything, I always like to start with your origin story. How did you come to be doing this work? What called you to build a space specifically for Black women?
Yeah, I love this question. And I also, every time I get this question, I'm like, where do I start?
Right.
Where do I really start?
I was born.
When I was born.
Yeah. We'll fast forward a little bit.
Are you sure you don't want this to be a 6-hour podcast? So I guess I will start with my start of my HR career. So I had master's in management, and I found HR, and my quote unquote fell in love with HR. I'm very unapologetic about that. So when we talk about the career love piece, I'm like, yeah, I love what I do. I never want to wake up and not love what I do. And so that kind of launched this, I've always been passion driven and wanting to leverage that passion in everything that I do, and passion for people and passion for the workplace. And so that's how I launched my HR career. Without all of the nuances of that, I moved into diversity, equity, inclusion, which I call my second career love era in that space, and just loved every bit of doing that work. And I think that culmination or that journey created what I'm doing today. I think that my true origin story and really showing up for Black women is that I would say that I'm hopefully nobody gets mad at me on the internet when I tell this story, but I launched a business called HR for Millennials. It was hey, I'm human resources, you're a millennial, you might not know all that information, but I'm going to tell it to you because I've been hiring and I've been promoting people and I've been doing performance stuff, career development, all of these things. And so I'm going to help you out with my HR skills, right? As a certified HR professional. And so one of the things that I never noticed about that journey, which, like I said today, I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you? Is that origin story was actually a Black woman. So a Black woman had come in. I was the only, as a token Black woman at the office, okay?
Oh, we've all been there. Yep.
We've all been there, okay? And so I finally got to a stage where they were like, if we don't hire somebody else, Mercedes is going to quit. And I was like, you're right. I'm going to quit.
You're like, no lies detected.
And
Okay.
so they finally decided that they were going to hire somebody else in the HR team. And so we went through a lot of different interviews, and there was like an amazing, very talented Black woman who was in management. And I could see from the other side, but I'm like, I'm on this side, got to evaluate you, right? Like, we show up, girl, because I got you in the back end, just show up.
Right.
And so she had showed up, and we had an amazing first phone screen. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna hire her. We're gonna be rocking together, okay? And then she showed up to our first round interview in person and like tanked the interview. Like, it was so bad. And that actual moment was what caused me to say, wait, I could help people on the other side who just don't know how to navigate that. And I launched HR for Millennials. Now, looking back at it, I was like, girl, what? I should have launched, what I have today with helping Black women enter their Black woman bliss era with, career and business guidance, because that was really my origin story of wanting to launch this business.
Yeah.
And so, we left that interview. I wasn't able to hire her because of how she showed up, even though she was really qualified. I thought she was like a quote unquote shoo-in for the job. But it just kind of shows you that like some of it is more of mindset and how you show up, and how you position your skills more so than it is your lack of skill set to move into a job. So that's how this happened. And there's so much more that I could probably say. But I'll keep it as short as I can to say, that story is my origin. And over time, I recognized and realized that that's where I really needed to be as a coach. It's my happy place working with Black women, seeing Black women thrive, getting amazing career updates from Black women. So that's how I went through this journey. So
Oh, I love that. Well, and I love that you mentioned that story because so many of us, the skills to do the job and the skills to interview well are totally different, which is unfortunate, and companies need to work on that. But in the meantime, that's why it's so important to have someone with that expertise like you who can walk people through, like, what are the ways that I can show all these ways that I'm qualified. I love it. And, in your work, you talk about closing the representation gap, the pay gap, the promotion gap. And then this is one I hadn't heard before, the inclusion gap for Black women. So where are you seeing the biggest challenges right now? And what do those challenges look like for us while we're out there?
It's not funny. It's just one of those things where you're like, all you can do is laugh because there's just so much. There's so much. It's like you wake up any day and you just kind of don't know what's going to be in the news cycle today and like how that's going to impact Black women, because we've literally had so much just impact Black women. And I know that a lot of us kind of saw the writing on the wall as we entered 2025 for a variety of reasons.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think it's been really heartbreaking, like for myself, like as a coach, and for also so many Black women that I see in my community, just on the internet, and just the job loss, the inclusion loss, right? You talked about the inclusion gap of like it being normalized to not have to create safe spaces for Black women. I don't know if you have been watching Love Island, but
I have not, but I'm already excited.
I don't even have a Peacock subscription. I've just seen Love Island on every feed everywhere. And I think so much of what has occurred with the Black women on that show is like a representation of like somehow, I mean, I shouldn't say somehow, we know that it's been normalized to respect us. I feel like we had made so much ground and like, inclusion and being respectful and like calling out that behavior. And it's been such a massive swing backwards that is really painful to look at, to see some of that normalized.
Yeah.
That being said, as a career coach, I think the worst thing that I'm seeing right now is just this frustration with the job market. Yes, we know a lot of Black women have been displaced in this market. We know that recruitment and hiring and actually getting feedback or positive responses on your resume, your interviewing, all of those things have been really challenging for Black women for the last, particularly like really standing out for like the last 3 months. But I think since again, since
Yeah.
the beginning of the year. We just had such a hard time. And so I think like as we look at that, it like it is what it is, right? We can't, we're hopeful, right, that employers would say, hey, we know this is a problem for us. Let's fix this. Why can't you find any talent and we can't find any jobs? Like let's figure this out. Like this, I don't know. The math isn't mathing.
Right.
But that being said, I think the hardest part about it is like seeing the mental and emotional toll that it's had on Black women, right? Because before this period of time, it'd be like, okay, I'm locking for 90 days. I might be having rejections and like challenges for this 90-day period. And, and then after that, like I can just breathe. We don't have that right now. You got to stay strong for like 6 months, a year. We've seen people like 2 years and very highly qualified.
Yeah.
And so it's just challenging. And so I think that is the piece of figuring out like how do we stay motivated, love on each other, how do we leverage community as a way to stay motivated and moving forward, even though we're not seeing or feeling it right now, and how do we come together as Black women and support each other? I think that's part of the solution, but I know that there's so much more in terms of mindset and confidence and knowing that it's not you, it's them. You're not the problem, but it's hard to keep that energy as you're going through rejection after rejection after rejection.
Of course. Yeah. And I think that's part of the power of community, right? Is having those people who get it, who have lived through it, and who can, help pick you back up again, when you're struggling. And I know for you in your community, you use this term career love, right? You've already mentioned a couple of your career loves, and I can see it in your background for those who are watching
it's on
on
brand for
YouTube.
sure.
So if you're listening to the podcast, Mercedes has a beautiful like cursive career love coach light up on her background, and it's stunning. So but so can you tell us what career love means? Like, what does that phrase mean to you? And then why is it so radical for Black women to center love, rest, and agency in our own careers?
Yeah, I went through this process of really trying to understand like what was my mission, like what was I showing up to do, and like what was the differentiator in how I show up for Black women. And I talked all about like, you would think you're like, oh, you know what you do, right? And so I was talking to all my clients, and it was just like this. The common theme that I got from them was just like understanding like what's possible. I've only ever had toxic jobs, like I'm just trying to get a paycheck, salary piece, right? Like,
Yeah.
I have one of my favorite clients. She's like, I've been fired from every job that I've had. Girl, what? Talented, amazing, like a beautiful human. I was like, I don't know why they fire you, girl.
Well, sounds like she's not into it.
Well, we go out, yeah.
We won't get into all the details, but
we have okay, so it connects to this other thing, right? Of like, I've done everything that I can to show up for this organization and do my work, but nobody's promoting me, nobody's valuing me. Oh, and by the way, yet when something goes wrong, I'm the problem. I'm the person that caused this.
right. Suddenly we're very visible when something
Suddenly
goes wrong.
it was always Mercedes or said client who was overseeing all of this, and all of these problems in your organization are suddenly a reflection of me. Okay. Like we don't have enough time for that conversation, right? But to say all of that, there are all of these really negative, toxic, even traumatic, I would say. And I would say my experience in some of my work environments have been traumatic, right?
Absolutely.
That have led to emotional and meant like anyway, all sorts of discoveries, depression, anxiety, ADHD, and all of those things that are wrapped up into that. And I think still, even like if some reason, and I am going back, but if I had to go back for some reason, okay, and I had to re-enter the workforce, I would still be believing in career love, because I believe that's what I deserve. And I believe that's what's possible. And I believe that's a vision that I have for my life. No matter what it looks like, I know that I'm meant to be in a place where I'm valued and loved. Okay, loved, admired, adored. Okay, right? Like I've come from a space where I had a supervisor that walked around calling me the HR goddess. You're like, like, come on, right? And so because of that, it doesn't matter what I've experienced. I know that career love is possible at the end of the day. I know that it's my birthright. That's how I view it. And so when I take this into the work that I do, so many of us have gone through the world not believing that that was possible. And I want Black women to believe that it's possible. I don't want them to settle for a job that just is an okay paycheck with an okay supervisor,
Mm-hmm.
at the at the minimum, right? Or at worst, it's toxic, right? At worst, they're taking that emotional and mental toll home with them. That's
Yeah.
worst case scenario, right? And so it kind of goes with like the bar is non-existent, right? We don't know where it is. Like I want us to be able to love what we do, to show up
Mm-hmm.
in our full authentic selves and be appreciated and respected for that. And so that's
Yeah.
really the career love, like that is my mission, and that's what I want to see happen for Black women. Yeah,
Oh, I love that. And it's not just that it's possible, but then that additional piece of and you deserve it.
you
I
deserve.
love that. I love that. And so, the clients that you have helped, they've had these transformations, right? It's not just about, okay, I got the new job, but I also got this new confidence, right? And
Yeah.
so, what's the mindset shift that you most often help Black women make?
I think it's if I there's a lot. Each person is looking or needs something like in their career for their next step. But I think the biggest part is being a reflection back to them, right? Like if
Mhm.
they come to me and they're like, I don't have the right skills, or I don't have the right abilities, or I'm not getting the like I'm not getting an interview, whatever it is, right? Whatever the
Yeah.
seeming limitation is, we know that it is connected to like confidence and mindset, right? Because at the end of the day, if you keep going, like you're going to get there. It might not always be the most comfortable, but you're going to get there. And so taking a step back and saying like, this is how I see you. Do you see yourself this way? This is
Mhm.
how, as a recruiter or an HR professional, I see you. Do you see yourself that way? And sometimes we don't. And like some of it is as simple as like, oh, I didn't realize that was a skill set match. Like, oh, okay. Like sometimes
Right.
it's as simple as that, but sometimes it's like I don't see myself as somebody who's navigated the workplace or had these accomplishments or
Mhm.
would be able to navigate and do this well, right? And so we know that because Black women are under promoted yet still penalized for the problems or the challenges, or told always we're not enough because people don't want to
Right.
co-sign that promotion, then we've internalized that and said, oh, we don't
Mhm.
actually deserve that promotion. We were not capable of making that leap. And it really, at the end of the day, it had more likely to do with either your supervisor's incompetence or unwillingness, the way that Black women are viewed from bias, and how we're treated in the systems of things.
Yeah.
Where we don't present the same way that our palm colored associates do. And so like as a result, then we're penalized, and we internalize that. And in fact, like let me go ahead and tell you how special you are. Let me tell you
Yeah.
about your Black woman brilliance. Okay. Like
Mm.
you got this, you are deserving of this. And like you won. I don't know, like employers need this. Like the way that
Right.
you navigate and do stuff, people need this. And so the extent that I can help you see that in yourself, I think is one of my favorite things, and also things that I love to do. And then
Yeah.
I guess I'm going on, but like to navigate that confidently, right? How do you show up? How do you advocate for yourself? How do you set your boundaries? Like
Mhm.
there's all the extensions of that, but I think it all leads back to this idea of feeling like you are that girl, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and you're so right. Everyone's situation is different and everyone's challenges are going to be different, right? Like obviously we all face a lot of the same things, but our internal struggles might be different, right? One person's like, "Yeah, I know I got it, but I didn't know that this particular thing I do is a skill set, or I didn't know how to tie it into this other field or what have you." And so, nothing can replace having that one-on-one interaction, right? And someone really holding that mirror up to you. But I'm wondering, just um, for a more broad spectrum, I'm thinking like I always want our listeners to leave with some, actionable strategy, right? And so I'm wondering, what's like one thing our listeners can do this week
Mm.
to love on herself in her career, to move towards that work and the pay that she deserves.
Mm. You can see I'm a mindset girly over here. And so I think that we often make decisions in our careers based on not what we want, but what we think is possible, which is not always rooted in actual reality. Because sometimes we'll have this conversation and she'll be like, oh, well, I know I've done this and I got this before. And I was like, okay, so why can't you do it again?
Right.
You cracked that tea really quick, girl. Like, why
Right. That
can't
first time was just
you?
luck. Mm-mm.
No, that was talent. That was Black woman brilliance. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and so some of that is my thoughts and how we move through life, right? And I think that mindset of saying, I might be having, I mentioned already, but like you might be having that hard time, but like, do you believe in this vision so much so that you're gonna go for it? And even
Mhm.
somebody like myself who is a career coach and a recruiter, in my 2023 pivot, I had one of the worst job searches I've ever had. And I think that's only been getting worse, right, over time. Where I was like, oh yeah, I got like 10 applications I got to get out there. We got 2 interviews out of that 10. Like, we're fine. We're getting the job that we want, right? And that
Mhm.
so much shifted with like what we're seeing now, but worse, of like, okay, I'm at job application 100. This isn't feeling good. And so
Yeah.
all of that being said, like at the end of the day, I know it's for me. And so I didn't give up at that 100 applications. I didn't give up after that 100 applications. And I landed a job that was just amazing, like as a diversity manager, and like everything that
Mhm.
I wanted, fully remote, pay was right. I got to travel for work. I got to do diversity, equity, inclusion work, because you don't have to ask me multiple times to tell people what they ain't doing right in the workplace. Okay. And from that equity lens, okay, you don't have to ask me
Mhm.
twice. Okay. And so it was just an amazing experience. And I went through this journey, um, and it's also been embedded into the way that I coach and how I show up. But I have this journal that kind of followed me through the journey, in a way of saying like, hey, here's what an abundance mindset looks like. Here's how I shift
Mhm.
the challenges. Here's how I dream bigger. How am I going to ask my questions about what I really want? What am I really skilled at? What do I love doing? What am I passionate about? And
Mhm.
okay, now that I have clarity and that I have a new paradigm, doesn't mean every day I wake up with that paradigm. Okay, I'm gonna have to reset myself.
Yep.
Today I forgot what I wrote in that journal. Okay.
Mhm.
But that being said, like, and then saying like, okay, I got this mindset. What's the action that I take, like, based on that? How do I show up for myself? What
Yeah.
do I do in my job search? What do I shift in my life? And I think those are some of the really actionable things. Like all of the questions and prompts that I've just talked about are, I think, questions that you can ask yourself, can journal about. But
Mhm.
also, if you want to get the career love journal, like, it's in there and you can kind of go through it. It's free, so you can find that. But it's just getting yourself into a different way of like thinking about yourself and what you want, and taking yourself out of what you've experienced or what you think is possible. Or some of y'all, listen to me, what the other people around you think, family, friends, supervisors, partners. I don't care.
Mhm.
That's all I got to say about that. You, center you.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that. So yeah, you can start journaling today, right? You can kind of roll it back and hear what some of those prompts were. Or you mentioned this career love journal that's free. You'll have to send me the link to that, and I will be sure to put it in the show notes as well, so folks can grab that. Oh, I love that because there's nothing like writing to really center yourself and really pull out like what are these truths I've been telling myself? What's a way I can reframe and pivot? So I love that. And I know in addition to resources like the Career Love Journal, you've also built a really special community for Black women who are looking for support, who are looking to be in community with others while they're, working through their careers. So, can you tell us more about the Career Love community?
Yes. I think that all that, well, I should say, I think, hopefully you all think that too. But I think everything that, and how I show up in everything that I do, is meant to be a love letter to Black women.
Mm,
I want her to feel seen, to feel loved, to feel valued. And so, right, whether that's the Career Love Journal or you're watching the podcast or whatever that is, like, I want you to feel like you can. Like, I want you to
mhm,
leave an episode to feel like you can. And that was how the community was founded, a space for originally like my clients to come together, for people who I was working with, or people who kind of wanted those career resources, whether that was just a training video, a template, whatever, or just a space to connect and come to a live meetup. In oh my gosh, in April, I was like, oh no, in May, I was like, what's going on? Time.
I have no concept of time anymore.
It's all gone. It's
you're
just
good.
like, how do we get to July? Yeah, and being fully on my own schedule, where I was like, I have a certain work week, I have a certain time that I'm waking up. I was like, oh, I don't know what time it is. That's freedom for me. Okay.
I love it.
Thank you. And so I had a webinar series, and I mean, I know that we were having a hard time. Like I see that, I know that, but I can't tell you like how deep, like, and I don't mean like in a bad way, like people can't show up as themselves, but like just how deeply like hurt I felt for all of the Black women who showed up to that webinar, because they were just hurting.
Yeah.
Like it's just a hard time right now, and particularly in the job market, if you've been laid off, underemployed, all of those things. And I was like, we need, I don't know who's gonna do it, but I'm gonna be trying to cultivate a space that centers the warmness, right? I think in the world we have, and I do understand that grind is a part of some things in life, but I don't want Black women, particularly in this time, trying to grind, because it is that longer period of time trying to grind through things. We need things that are sustainable. We need things that prioritize like care and rest, and focusing on self and self-love, those types of things, right? And so because I knew that, I went into that webinar from that perspective of like kind resilience, not hustle resilience.
Yeah.
Mindset work and self-love, and then taking that to create a job search strategy that's sustainable. And then finally, if you're like, okay, you know what, I've seen what I need to see in corporate America, we're done, I want to like launch my own business and start to build that, right? And so I centered that need for Black women. But again, as I was going through that, oh my gosh, there was just so much like just deep like pain and like sadness and like what was going on. And so because of that, I decided to shift how I have the community right now. So as of right now, I have two ways, for I guess 3 ways technically, oopsies, for Black women to join the community. There is a free version of the Career Love community. You can come get loved on, come to a community connection, get connected. It's only been a couple of weeks. I think maybe I just hit my month since I launched the free version of the community, and we've already had connections in the community. Thank you. We've already had people showing up to make sure that Black women get the self-care that they need in the form of healthcare. There's been some connections of people wanting to connect and share and help with resume writing. I mean, it's really lovely. And so I'm really excited for it to continue to grow. And one of the things that I want in this is that it's going to be a safe space. So I don't, I don't want Black women. That was also some of the feedback that I heard of like, I just don't know if this is going to be a safe space for me. Like I've joined other communities, or I've done other things, and it wasn't. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like somebody's coming into my space with that energy. Like we're not going to have a good time. So like, I want this to truly be a safe space. And so I launched that free version of the community. And I'm just really excited to see how it grows. Now, I also have a paid version of the community that people can join, or that was kind of the third option. If they want to do one-on-one coaching, they can do that too. So you can do free, only community access, which gives you more resources and training and live events and things like that. Or you can work with me one-on-one and get access to all of those things. And so that's how I have it set up. And all with this like mission and goal of Black Woman Bliss. I got my little Black Woman Bliss shirt on. I don't know if you see it.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
With this journey of saying like, hey, what does it mean to be in my Black Woman Bliss era? How do I move forward and like do things that really are for me and that are going to help fulfill me and light me up? And so the training portal is all based on moving you through that journey, whether that's career or business. So yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait to just see the impact that this has long term. And yeah, I'm excited about it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And we are absolutely going to have a link to all the information you need about the Career Love community, how you can join it for free, as well as those other options to get even more support from Mercedes. And I'm wondering for those who are listening, who want to stay in touch and learn more about you and what you do, what's the best way for them to find you?
Yes, Mercedes Swan on all platforms, or the Career Love Coach. You can find me. My website's mercedesswan.com. You can join there. You can find all the different ways to work with me. And my active platforms are LinkedIn and YouTube and TikTok. So you can get all sorts of my fun, silly content on there, unhinged, all the things. Yeah, I love connecting with you all on there. So yeah, go find me.
Beautiful. And we'll put all those links in the notes as well. Oh, Mercedes, thank you. Thank you for talking with me. I've just been so excited for this conversation. Thank you for, sharing with our audience your experience and the work you do. But most importantly, thank you for you're living into that love letter to Black women that I can always feel radiating from you. how much you love other Black women, and we feel so seen and loved by you.
Thank you. And I also want to recognize you. You are doing so much work. I love every time I see you make your pay, your pay post. I was like, get them, pay us. So I thank you too for being in it, right? To do this work. I think showing up online and doing your thing and saying what you got to say is sometimes inherently feels scary. And so you're like, oh, I'm doing stuff online and it's like visible. So I love those moments too. So I just want to recognize you for the work that you are doing and the community and the message that you are supporting and getting out there as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Look at us, just a couple of powerful Black ladies.
When Black women compliment women.
And if you all love this podcast, be sure to check out the Career Love podcast if you want to hear more about Mercedes as well. I'll put the link to that in the notes as well. But thank you again, and thank you all for joining us, and we will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. If you want to hear more episodes like this one, subscribe wherever you're listening now. And if you love what you heard, be sure to leave us a review. And make sure you share this podcast with the incredible Black women in your life so we can continue getting Black women paid. All right, we'll see you in the next one.